morning, everybody. Rusty from the Rusty Razor. Got another shave of the day, and today we're going to be using Lemon Chill from Stirling. If you like lemon, yep, this is for you. This is the glacial. It's like, whoa. This morning it's really affecting the eyes. I was like lathering this stuff up and like, oh, my eyes are starting to water. Alright, so we're going to be using the third use of the London Bridge blades with the 1960 Gillette Fatboy. Yes, indeed. Here we go. Alright, and then we're going to follow up with some Citron. This is glacial too, isn't it? Yeah, that's glacial. Glacial. Cooling. Yeah. I think spring is almost upon us, my friend. Well, it is spring, but, you know, it is what it is. All right, so how is your day going? Yeah. Just another exciting day in paradise. Ooh. Had a little bit of soap on my fingers when it's like I could feel it. All of a sudden, I'm starting to feel like glacial kicking in already. Oh. Yep, smelled like lemons. If you like this like lemon pledge kind of smell, yeah, this is for you. Not much excitement going on around the homestead. Yeah. Kind of comical, some things reading. It's like, all right, first pass, third use. And I'm a member of veterans groups and Facebook, and I find it funny how they always think of officers as being a bunch of morons. When, let me tell you, someone that was enlisted first, I was an enlistedman, achieved the rank of sergeant, and then kind of funny. I think I've told the story before, but I ended up getting signed up for officer candidate school by my first sergeant of all people. I was like, and the major that was in charge of my unit. Well, he was the XO, but I was in on a FIST team, which is a forward observer team. That was their artillery forward observer. And I was a sergeant sitting in a E6 position. You know, all I had to do is go to B knock, and I would have been promoted again. But you know, that would have been a couple of years down the road before that was eligible. And a captain that was like if we were a rear echelon command post, basically operations center. So we had, like, one of my jobs was to coordinate corps level artillery, along with the captain that was in our forward command section. So he was a artillery officer, so we would go around and it was like when we were doing operations, it was our job to make sure there was cover of fire and give the information directly. That's a nice job. I just got lather all over my hand here. But would coordinate fire, overlapping fire, where the core artillery assets, all the way down to unit, and then put it all on a overlap so the corps commander would know what the heck is going on, where he wanted to know where his assets are going. So I was doing that job as a sergeant. It's just in helping out, and we had a couple other E6 that were in the section that it was like I was doing their job. But I get this, he's like, he says, called me up, so this is my section commander. He goes like, you wanted in the office. I'm like, okay. Well, I got called up there, and he said, Sergeant, you're wasting your time in this place. I'm like, oh crap, what did I do wrong? I said, we decided that you're better off. It's like, we're sending you off to Canada school. I'm like, what? Okay. You know, I had a college degree, so it wasn't like it's like I had all the checks and stuff already punched. So, like, away I went. I started doing OCS, graduated OCS, and a lot of the guys that went through, and gals, were sergeants or specialists for the most part. Mostly specialists with college degrees. But we had a few E6. We even had an E7, for that matter, for them. We had like 120 something guys and gals that started the course, and we graduated like 28. That was the attrition rate. It made basic training, going through basic training and all that hassles and all the mind screwing that happened in basic training made it feel like it was Fort Country Club, man. It was just, they tore you up and spit you out. But made it through, graduated. I had fun at, like, when I was going through armor school, be a tank commander. I was in the cab. We were doing always the stuff with they're trying to teach all these young guys how to call for fire for artillery, and they had these battle simulators. Like, I've used them many times going through school and then just practicing all the time. And they pop something up, and I just rattle off like drop 6, right, whatever, give the command and then fire for effect. You can't do that. And the guy punched it in. It's on target. They're like, what? And then I had this captain come over, and he said, you just can't be doing that. It's like, you don't know what you're doing. It's like, I was a Ford observer before I became an officer, and he goes, oh, okay. Like, there's no freaking mystery to me. But I find it comical is that they always, in these memes, or they always make these officers, every single one of them, a freaking moron that don't know what the hell they're doing. Now, some of my experience, yes, that is true. Get some of these guys that came out of West Point. Oh my God. First time in like 4 years they were able to be doing something different, and they didn't know what to do. They were like getting themselves in trouble all the freaking time, doing stupid stuff. But And some of the ROTC guys weren't any much better. They didn't have any experience in other than just what they did in ROTC. We had this one young lieutenant that was from a West Pointer when we were going through school down at Fort Knox. He told the I was one of the higher ranking lieutenants that were down there because I had prior service plus, you know, it was a year before I even went to advanced school. So almost a first lieutenant by that time, early. And this West Pointer comes up to the sergeant major, and he's like, the lieutenant was told to go do something, and he was by the captain, and so he goes off and starts doing it, and the sergeant major sees him doing it, and he just started ripping into the lieutenant, and the lieutenant told the sergeant major to lock it up. You don't talk to me that way. You know, I can guarantee you, it's like the hierarchy is just ingrained in these guys from West Point. It's like, if you were not wearing the rank on your arm from the academy, you know, they had their rank structure. You just got chewed out left and right, like you were a pond scout, I guess, from my experience. And this sergeant major just started tearing into him, and this lieutenant tells the sergeant major to lock it up, which means stand at attention when he talks to him. And I'm like, okay. It's not going to end well, probably. But technically, Lieutenant did have the authority to do such a thing. Not a smart decision, but he did have the right, because he has the authority. Because every a junior lieutenant, a second lieutenant, does have outranks every single enlisted man in the entire Army, including the sergeant major of the Army. But, command sergeant major. But, you don't do stuff like that. So, it ended up getting called into the office, I guess. You could hear the yelling and screaming by the sergeant major, and then you could hear eventually, it came out was that the captain did tell the sergeant major, yes, he does have the authority to do this, and I told him to do it. If you didn't like it, you come talk to me. And then pretty soon, the lieutenant colonel shows up. And then there's more yelling. But it got worked out. Now, someone like me, I'd be like, explain to the old sergeant major, and say, Sergeant Major, I was tasked to do this job. If you don't like it, let's go talk to her. Instead of, let's go converse with my superior, and we'll get this all hashed out without ruffling any feathers. But yeah, there was some ruffled feathers. I remember, which is kind of cool, is that when I was down at Knox, I remember when I was going to advanced AIT, advanced individual training, and I had a drill sergeant Johnson. One day we were sitting there, I always had a bad habit because I'm a thinker. I'm sorry. I just look at something and I'm like, why are we doing that way? And he's told me, at the time, I was a specialist, and he was a specialist. You think too much, and he had to he makes the statement, "You'll never outrank me, so you got to do what I tell you to do." I was like, "Yes, Drill Sergeant. Okay, I want to do it. Yes, Drill Sergeant." So I did it. Cool thing was, I'm down at Fort Knox, and I'm going back into the one of the areas to we're working on. We just came out of the field, range fire, and we're gonna be cleaning 50 cals and M240s, clean them all up, and then back in the area where they had the big giant vats where you just dip everything in, let them soak, and then clean everything out. And I'm walking back there, and I see here comes Drill Sergeant Johnson. And here he comes walking up, and I look at it, and I go, "Hey, Drill Sergeant Johnson." He looks at me. "You got me." Like, "Yes, I did." He's like, "Oh," he's like, "Congratulations." Like, "I knew you wouldn't last too long in enlisted. You think too much." I'm like, "Yeah." It was kind of funny, though. Had a long conversation till the captain come wandering by. Captain Swergos. Let's call him Swear God. What a piece of garbage. Another West Pointer. Oh, that's another story. But yeah, "Don't you have a task to do?" And Sergeant, he was like, by this time he was platoon sergeant, he was E7. And I'm talking to the lieutenant here, and I was like, "I don't care, Sergeant. Tell him he's got work to do." Okay. Yeah. Good old Swear God. He had the audacity to. He instituted a system where you had a rating system where you rated all your fellow officers and stuff about how well, or who's number one type of crap that they did at West Point. And he called me in, and he's like, we had 120 guys that were in our class down at Fort Knox. Everybody's being rated, and we're supposed to rate everybody. And I was ranked to come out about, I think, 45 or something like that. And the training NCOs that were in my section, he said, basically said, "I'd follow you anywhere," type of deal. But there was not enough guys to really figure out. I missed that spot right there. And he says, "You're not ranked high enough. You should be in the top 10%. You need to work harder." And I basically told him to his face, "Your rating system doesn't mean jack, Captain, sir." In the real world, he's like, "Yeah, it does. When you come up for promotion, where you got to go, everything is like, yeah, that may be the case, but actually it comes down to how you actually know your job." And just let me tell you, after we did our 3-week FTX in the field doing operations and everything. Yeah. It was way up. Oh. Come out of there. There we go. A little bit of Citron. Whoa. A little stinging. Right here. Oh, it smells good. A little bit of lemon. God, that smells good. Glacial. Whew, feel it now. Oh, smells good. All right. That's the shave of the day, everybody. Stirling. Stirling's Lemon Chill. Excellent. Man, I love this stuff. On my face, so I'm cooling. It's like, feels icy. And we had the third use of the London Bridge blades with the 1960 Gillette Fatboy. Man, that's my dad's razor. He said I could have it, so he gave it to me. Make good use of it. And that's the shave day, everybody. Hope you guys like it. Like and subscribe. Share with your friends, and we'll see you in the next one. Rusty out.